We are live, and I'm here joined with the ghost of dead Kyle and Brandon. How are you two doing today?
Doing good. Doing good. Still dead.
Yes, still dead.
Doing
Still
good too.
dead. Yeah, I figure we're all a little dead inside lately, aren't we?
Especially with all the crazy hurricane of bullshit going on.
Right, exactly. Let's see. Well, I'm unwilling to work. I just want to stream all day, cause yeah, apparently, if we only would elect Ms. Cortez, Miss what AOC. We all will be able to get a free paycheck from the government if we're unwilling to work. And I had some dumbasses, like absolute dumbasses, defending that shit. It like really would piss me off, like saying how if just because someone's not willing to work doesn't mean they should starve. Yeah, it should actually, because you should. All right, if you're able to work and all right, you can get work, but you refuse, you lose all sympathy.
Yeah, it's like here in the United States, no one starves. You can go to a soup kitchen, you can go to a homeless shelter. There are plenty of places and resources that are private that you can go to for assistance.
Yeah, what was who else? Lapis, I remember, was saying posting that Riley Dennis shit about how the poor deserve to be able to save up for nice things. I'm like, no, off welfare. I'm like, no, you want nice things, get a job.
Contribute to society.
Yeah. Like if we really put that bill into action, it would collapse the economy within a week. All right, like everyone would in mass start quitting their jobs. It's insanity.
I mean, it's a beautiful utopian butterfly idea. You know, if money didn't exist and they all think it's a big gigantic hippie commune we live in or something, and they don't realize there are actual
imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. Right, pretty much it's like John Lennon's vision.
Yeah, I'm a gigantic Lennon fan. I have like Lennon posters all over my wall. It's not a fan of him and Yoko's crazy ass politics in the early to mid 70s.
I hope they realize.
But Gabby says, but true utopia has never been tried before. Exactly. Why have we never tried to make this a perfect society where absolutely nothing bad happens?
Yeah, we need to turn butterflies into beef jerky. We can do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It can be done if not for those darn conservatives or classical liberals or what have you who are impeding progress with their calls to stay within their means and accept reality.
And we haven't found the right magic wand or magic bullet yet. Once we find those, next to Excalibur, we can fix it.
It's all because of Trump's racist policies, okay? It's all because of the big bad orange man in the White House, all right, who is keeping this whole country from becoming a magical fairy utopia. It is so sad.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of the orange man in the White House, it's the TV evangelist Jim Baker?
No. Who?
Jim Baker. He said recently on his TV show that, the reason Trump is orange is because he was touched by Jesus' light.
He's got to be a Poe.
It is hilarious. That guy is like he's famous for in the 80s, like he ripped off tons and tons of his parishioners and basically evaded taxes for years, and he went to prison for I think 8 years or something.
Shit. It reminds me of like reading Bill Mitchell's posts. Is Bill Mitchell a Poe?
I'm not sure.
It's really hard to tell, but his like Royal Trump ass kissing is just embarrassing. It really does come across like a religious person talking about their deity.
Oh yeah.
he even once said, "Hey, Democrats, how does it feel to be the party of Satan?" on Twitter.
The second you label people the party of Satan or the party of, God.
Oh yeah, well, Satan was really good with the fiddle. I'll feel like devil went down to Georgia. He was a bond looking for fun.
Yeah, the devil has a thing for stringed instruments and stuff.
Right. The devil, when he goes down to Georgia, he can play the fiddle better than anyone except one person. And what was another post that was really amazing? That he said. Oh, and he said before the 2018 midterms, what are the chances Republicans keep the House? And he said 100%.
What's this guy's name again?
Bill Mitchell.
Yeah, then his name doesn't sound familiar. What's he known for, mostly?
For being a royal Trump ass kisser.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to bring up his Twitter feed and see what I can find, actually.
His name rings a bell. It sounds familiar, but you can't place it to my face or anything.
All right, let me see here. Let's see.
So, Kyle, do you agree that late-term abortions is murder?
Yeah. If the baby's developed enough to survive outside the womb, yeah, I think you shouldn't, abort them.
Yeah, at that point, it actually is murder.
Right. Oh, here's a Bill Mitchell one. There is no scientific evidence that CO2 increases global warming. In all caps, 0! There is, however, scientific proof that global warming causes increase in CO2. Man-made global warming science is a fraud. Aye. Hey, Zach's in the chat. Gave me a super chat. Thanks, Zach. Jump in the stream, man. Let's see. Gabby says, I don't know what's sadder or more hysterical. It's harder and harder to tell who is a Poe, or that is more common enough to see a crazy online. Then there's plenty of practice identifying the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really hard to tell who's a Poe and who's not. Like a good example was, Tatiana McGrath, who's a brilliant satirist Twitter account, who has some really brilliant stuff. She tweeted out that, or whoever is behind that account, a joke about Mary Poppins promoting blackface because of the chimney scene, where they all get covered in soot. Okay, and here's what's really fucking insane. The New York Times opinion piece actually published an article a couple weeks later that tried to argue that for reals. So basically, a satirical site said that as a joke, and then actual social justice warriors decide to take that and try to turn it into a serious argument. Jokes are becoming real in our society.
That kind of stuff happens on Reddit all the time too. Like, the hand symbol that, okay, or, people use it also below their waist, like the punch game. That started on Reddit saying that was for white power, or that stood for white power. And it was a total thing made up as a prank or a hoax on Reddit. And then the news picked it up and started running with it like it was fact, and saying that anyone that did the okay hand symbol was a member of the KKK and saying white power with their hands.
Like, holy shit, do these people have any sense of sarcasm or irony? It's like talking to some alien race that have come to Earth and are unaware of our customs, and you're trying to explain basic humanity. And this is a fucking autistic person saying this too. So I'm someone who's supposed to not understand sarcasm or subtleties, and yet I can understand that was an obvious joke much better than the fucking news media. What does that say about them?
maybe it just says about them that they're very disingenuous and they knew it was bullshit, but they just wanted something salacious to talk about.
Right, but if any of those good for nothing, useless crooks end up losing their jobs, we all have to be absolutely sympathetic to them. Because if we start mocking them on Twitter, we're clearly part of a Reddit inspired hate campaign from 4chan.
Oh, of course.
Remember the whole learn the code thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Twitter
I've heard
actually
people
is
say
doing
that,
that. They're banning people for tweeting learn to code. It's fucking retarded.
and what does
Oh,
that
yeah.
mean exactly? Like I've heard people say it, and I heard Joe Rogan about to explain it last night what it meant, but I fell asleep before he finished.
Well, it's a reference to the fact that a few years ago, when some coal miners lost their jobs due to Obama's energy regulations, all right, the Huffington Post ran an article telling coal miners that were recently laid off that they should learn to code as a new career. That essentially was it. All right, and basically now, and then when BuzzFeed and the Huffington Post and Vice later on started announcing mass layoffs, a lot of people gleefully mocked them by tweeting at them, they need to learn to code. And which really pissed them off. Like, really pissed them off. How dare you be insensitive to us losing our jobs? I mean, I know you guys, we were totally insensitive to other people losing their jobs. I know we slander people numerous times that causes them to lose their jobs, but you need to have empathy for us, even though we have never shown any empathy for you. Fuck them.
Isn't it sad that people only feel empathy for their own team? It's like, it's like a sports team kind of thing. How, the American political, discourse and social discourse is happening right now. It's just like teams, like basketball teams or something. It's ridiculous.
It's not even that. I mean, if there was a Democrat who was like laid off at his job at the corner store, I mean, I wouldn't go, ha ha, you're a Democrat, you deserve it. It's that these people regularly use their position as journalists to outright slander and lie about people. All right, and in some cases dox people. So why would I have sympathy for the misfortunes of somebody who has devoted themselves to hurting others?
Oh, yeah.
Like the Huffington Post doxed an anonymous Twitter account that Trump followed and actually called the scumbag reporter Luke O'Brien actually harassed the woman's family, called up her husband's place of work, which resulted in him getting fired.
That's just plain old harassment.
Yeah. Oh, yes. If I had done that to someone, let's say I let's say there was a woman I fancied, so I started calling her home over and over again and calling her place of work, what have you. Well, that would obviously be harassment because I don't work for the Huffington Post. But if someone who's a quote unquote journalist does it, it's suddenly okay. And that's fucked up in my eyes.
Yeah, like you or me, any normal person would get a restraining order. But since it's a journalist or a media organization, they can harass and badger people all they want, and it's not considered stalking or anything like that. It's considered, research or something.
Which is why when I found out Luke O'Brien lost his job a couple weeks ago, I was giddy out of my mind. It was like Christmas. It came early this year.
Oh, yeah.
Because he deserved that 1,000 times over for what he did.
And who did he work for?
Huffington Post, of course.
Yeah, Huffington Post, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these journalists, another laid-off journalist outright slandered a TSA officer saying that he had a Nazi tattoo, which turned out to be a complete lie.
Oh, yeah.
So, and she also lost her job. Why should I have sympathy for her?
Oh.
Or she should have been fired immediately after that, but who knows? And another thing that was funny, I found this from Tim Pool, was their director of quizzes, who apparently was being paid something like $30,000 plus a year just to come up with quizzes. All right. The reason why he got fired was because quizzes submitted by users for free were generating more traffic than ones that they were paying him to come up with.
Oh, wow.
So literally, he was accomplishing nothing people were doing for free what they were paying him to do. So needless to say, he got the axe.
Yeah, that's really. I would be so embarrassed if I was that guy doing that job.
That's a great deal. I bet some social warriors will joke, no joke, say Black Panther can get jobs for black people can get jobs for free because Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture. That's another thing. That's darkest. I'm actually needing to shower first in a month, but I'll join in a bit after it. Okay, cool. That's cool, Zach. But in terms of like Black Panther getting nominated for Best Picture, I actually like the movie. I put it in my top 10 favorite movies of 2018, but it's total bullshit that is the first superhero movie to get a nomination for Best Picture, because there have been dozens of superhero movies that are better than Black Panther. And even in 2018, I can name 3 that were better than Black Panther. Infinity War was better than Black Panther. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was better than Black Panther. Incredibles 2 was better than Black Panther. Black Panther was a good movie, an enjoyable flick and all, a worthy entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was not the best superhero movie ever. Not even close.
It was a good movie, but not Oscar-worthy.
No, it was not Oscar-worthy at all. Yeah. Again, Oscar-worthy has become kind of a joke in recent decades because, let's see, in 2005, Crash won the Oscar for Best Picture. Crash is easily the worst movie I've ever seen that was nominated that ever got a Best Picture win. I watched it. It is a pretentious, mediocre, pedantic mess.
Yes, it's boring to me. It's pretentious. It's totally like self-serving. It's like, the director and the writer of the movie, it looks like they're just behind the screen the entire time, just giving each other blowjobs and high fives or something.
Yes, it's such a bad. Well, I mean, I guess it wasn't a terrible flick, but goddamn, it did not deserve Best Picture. Come on, Batman Begins came out in 2005. Batman Begins was awesome.
The only reason it won is because it was, it tackled a race issue.
Yeah, they seem to give them a movie Best Picture just for tackling a race issue or having some kind of woke message in it, regardless of whether it's a good movie or not. And it's bullshit.
It's like how it's executed is just as important as what the subject of the movie is about.
Right. I mean, you could say it. Well, like in 2013, I actually agreed with them giving the win to 12 Years a Slave because that genuinely was a great fucking movie.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Hard movie to watch, but a great flick.
Yeah, and it's
probably in 2013. My 2 favorite movies that year were 12 Years a Slave and Gravity. Probably it's very difficult to pick which one deserved it, but 12 Years a Slave probably did deserve its win.
Watching Gravity in IMAX, oh my god, especially the scene where they're like floating out, out in space without a tether and stuff. It scares holy hell out of me. That's being underwater, like in the ocean, like in a submarine or a dive suit, and something going wrong is one of the things that scares me the most, just as much as being in outer space and something like that happening.
Yeah, and I'll probably say Gravity's use of 3D is probably the best I've ever seen in any movie.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
The 3D is amazing. I got the Blu-ray 3D version, and I don't think any other format would ever do that movie justice. And I usually like 3D, but usually it's not really needed. But for Gravity, it is absolutely necessary.
And they do it right, like a lot of 3D movies do that stupid shit where they, like Jaws 3D, like where they take like a fishing pole or they take an arm and they shove it right at the camera, like, ooh, look at my hand.
This live stream. Well, imagine me doing this, but in 3D.
Like 3D movies from the 80s and 70s and early 90s, they just look so hilarious because of that one thing.
But I think there's a lot of movies in the last decade or so that I think have done 3D really well. Like Pixar's movies do it kind of subtly where it's not really needed per se, but I've always enjoyed it in that format.
Didn't Avatar do 3D and everyone?
Oh yeah, Avatar did it really well. Probably second only to Gravity.
Yeah, sadly I didn't get to see Avatar in 3D.
Oh, I have the Blu-ray 3D of that one too. It's out in 3D and for home viewing. If you have a 3D television.
Yeah, I got a 3D TV in the living room. I need to get Gravity and Avatar so I can see both of them. I've seen Gravity in the theater in 3D, but I need to see Avatar. I would love to see that.
Right. Kind of a shame that the new Ultra HD Blu-ray format doesn't have a 3D option. So you're kind of sometimes a lot of recent movies lately, you have to choose between the 3D version and the Ultra HD version, and it's tough to decide because I like both formats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Someone's asked, crazy Kurt Ghibli, what is your ancestry? I'm a Greek. Yeah. I'm a big fat Greek fellow.
Opa!
Opa! This is Sparta! Exactly.
I love Greek food.
Yeah. 300 when it came out was made for the explicit purpose of making all Greek guys feel really, really out of shape.
All you got to do is paint on some abs like they did.
I know. Well, they didn't paint on abs for all the guys there, but only a couple.
Yeah, they were all pretty cut, to begin with. But then they painted on, what they already had to make them look more crisp and stuff for like the way they colored the movie.
Right, but I don't think they did that with Gerard Butler. I just think he was in really good shape. But whatever.
In amazing shape.
Yeah, I don't know if he still is because that was like a decade ago.
Yeah, I don't see how these actors that work that hard, for that long, like months and months and months to get down to a certain weight and then like work out so much where they look like bodybuilders within like 3 to 5 months or something is ridiculously. That's the hardest part of their job. The acting is the easy part. The preparing.
Well, yeah, but because they're actors who live a cushy life and they don't need to go to work every day, they can devote all their time and make working out their full-time job. That's not a luxury the average Joe has.
And they get trainers and stuff, and they get a nutritionist, and they have a doctor to recommend what's the safest way to do this process.
Yeah, exactly, which is all luxury money buys. It's kind of a big irony of our modern society. Only in America are the poor fat.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even like 200 years ago, the idea that the underclass or poor would ever be fat was something that was ridiculous. Obesity was a luxury that only the top percentage could afford.
Oh yeah, for thousands of years.
Let's see, crazy Kurt Ghibli. I'm Nigerian, but also a quarter white. That's cool. Let's see. Kyle, so did you watch my last couple video reviews? I've been reviewing episodes of Gargoyles.
Oh, I saw the thumbnails for a couple of them, but I haven't got to watch any of them yet.
Oh.
What was it about?
I'm reviewing all the episodes of the 3rd season of Gargoyles.
Oh, I used to watch that when I was a kid. Yeah, that's a really awesome TV show.
Well, yeah, the first 2 seasons. The 3rd season was kind of like disowned by the original creative crew. It was made by like completely different people on a different network, and it's widely considered vastly inferior to the first 2 seasons.
Different people. No wonder it seemed weird and different.
Yeah, and it was made on a tighter schedule and a lower budget, so the animation looks worse.
Hmm.
So I've been reviewing every episode of season 3, except the first episode of season 3. That was the only one where the show's forerunner Greg Weisman wrote before he left. So it's actually good.
It don't have that classic feel to it.
Right? Yeah. Dumped a lot of characters, and what was really frustrating is they made the whole season kind of just a kind of polemic against racism and bigotry, where you had this villainous group called the Quarrymen, who were clearly meant to be based on the Ku Klux Klan. But the problem is it never really examined these issues because it made them pretty much basic Saturday morning cartoon villains who had very thin motivation and were basically just a bunch of evil thugs who hated gargoyles for pretty much no reason.
Wait, did you say the Quarrymen?
Quarrymen, yes.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about those guys. Did you know that was the name of the Beatles before they named themselves the Beatles? They were called the Quarrymen.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's hilarious.
Weird. The crazy Kirk. Goliath not dodging that truck was so atrocious. Yeah, that was a dumb moment. That whole episode, you can just tell, was just horribly rushed.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the end, the whole message of the episode is that you should trust the justice system, but then Goliath only proves his innocence by breaking out of prison, like going on a rampage and getting a confession out of the real robber in this episode where he's put on trial. I'm like, so he should totally trust the justice system, except where he breaks out of prison and gets a confession in a vigilante style. Yeah, you just contradicted your own message, dumbass.
Yeah, that shows really, really bad writing.
Oh, yeah. And what's really sad about that episode is Greg Wise, before he left the show, he had an idea for the third season that Goliath would be captured and put on trial, but the trial would be over his very sentience and would result in the high court declaring him a sentient being that was entitled to rights. That's not the episode that they ended up making, though. Not at all. So it was basically originally going to be like the Star Trek episode, The Measure of a Man, but we ended up getting just a dumb farce.
Oh, yeah. Measure of a Man, that episode is a classic episode that is referenced so many times.
It probably is the best episode of any Star Trek show. That is a phenomenal episode.
Yeah, it's so
writing
well
is absolutely
has
superb.
so much
Hey, Darkon, how's it going?
Anyone who doesn't think that Black Panther is literally the best movie ever is a fucking racist, should have their head chopped off and hung at the gates of Wakanda. I want my...
obviously, obviously, Darkon, that is the case.
Wakandan power!
Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! Oh!
Anyway, I thought I'd open up with a bang there. So, you guys were talking about 300. I just wanted to ask a question about that. Like, which is better, 300 or Troy?
300.
300?
Yeah, 300. To me, Troy's a little melodramatic and too much like... they try to be like a drama, and it's too silly to be a drama.
I mean, I know 300 is not historically accurate at all, but goddamn, it's stylized imagery, and it's badassery in its action is magnificent. 300 is just a work of art.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you guys do make a good point now that you mention it, but I just find the characters in Troy to be, well, slightly more investable. I mean, yeah, there's investable characters in 300 as well, but Troy also has a wider variety of characters to get invested in too. The only one that I can't really get invested into is Orlando Bloom, because his acting was just about as stiff as a plank of wood in that movie. Like, what the fuck?
His character is kind of a prick, but then again, he was in the Iliad as well, the character of Paris. Mm-hmm. Like, I read the Iliad, and I remember how when he came back to the Trojan Council, all right, and they all start scolding him for daring to... for basically plunging his city into war just because he was horny. All right. Yeah. And then they see Helen and how beautiful she is, and they're totally forgiving them. I'm like, wow, who could blame him?
Yeah.
I think
don't feel bad, dude. I would steal her from anyone else though.
I kind of think that it's safe to say that Orlando Bloom is really not that good of an actor, honestly. I mean, he's mostly on given roles because he's got such a pretty boy face. In all honesty,
I agree with you.
I mean, the best role as far as emotions and just pure acting goes that I can think of him in is Kingdom of Heaven. What do you guys think?
Probably.
Kingdom of Heaven, yeah. Well, and mostly, I think it was the writing.
Well, of course, good-looking people, both men and women, always get advantages, particularly in Hollywood, but pretty much in any aspect of life.
Yeah, you don't need to actually seem legit in your emotions when it comes to acting. Just gotta have a smooth, blemish-free complexion.
Right. Like I remember in Transformers 3, that actress that replaced Megan Fox. I thought Megan Fox's acting was bad in the first two Transformers movies. My God, was the chick they replaced her with a terrible actress. But she
really?
was
I
good
never saw the
looking,
third
so
one.
of course Bay throws her in there.
Wait, you thought Megan
Yeah,
Fox
that was
was decent?
Compared
Okay.
to who replaced her, yes.
Actually, yeah. I mean, if I was to actually go back and watch the movies, which probably would ultimately not be worth it,
No,
but
it wouldn't be worth it at all. Those movies are all garbage.
Yeah, they took hours of my life away. I can never get back.
Yeah, until Bumblebee is the first Transformers movie. There were none before it.
I'm so glad I only watched 1 and 2.
Good. Pretty much, here's the plot of the next three. All right, they're pretty much just remakes of the previous two. He pretty much just made the same bad movie 5 fucking times.
Yeah,
Oy, those movies.
it's like we need to find something and stop the Decepticons from finding it first. That's the plot of every movie.
Right.
yeah, really.
Or some other dumb shit. Honestly, I don't think even Bay knows what those movies are about. They're borderline incoherent.
It's because, well, I guess he's a royal dumbass.
Yeah, Michael Bay is
really
like
is.
titties, explosions, explosions.
I'm like, if you just want to like show shit blow up and photograph hot women, I respect that. Go direct porn. That would be actually something Bay might be good at.
Explosive porn.
I think he used
Yes,
to direct
explosive
porn
porn.
when he was a young director, or like in. I think that's how he got into the industry. I'm not. If I might be mistaken.
I don't know.
I might be thinking of somebody else.
But it's finally getting a Transformers movie not directed by Michael Bay that actually was good was such a breath of fresh air last year.
I guess that was the curse that held Transformers back. Bay.
Pretty much was. I mean, there's nothing in the Transformers mythology themselves that you can't make a good movie out of. I know the original cartoons weren't great, but there's material there for solid flicks if you got a decent budget, but you need somebody talented behind the helm, and Bay is not a talented man.
The name that shall not be mentioned. Michael Bay.
Oh, and Pearl Harbor.
Piece of crap.
Sucked.
You could remove the entire Pearl Harbor attack from that movie, and it wouldn't affect the main plot whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a silly, stupid, like middle school love story. It's ridiculous.
You want to know what it was? Because Titanic was successful a couple years earlier, and Bay wanted to recapture Titanic. That's all that was.
It's a whole disaster movie love story.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard
bad movie.
Watch Mojo did a top 10 list of the top 10 best moments in bad movies, and Pearl Harbor ended up on that list. And what they pointed out was the actual Pearl Harbor attack was the best part in that bad movie.
Yeah,
I mean, that kind of like screwed up. A nostalgia critic made a few points in it. There's this one scene where this guy is walking out with his toothbrush, and he's still holding on to the fucking toothbrush throughout the entire scene. I'm like, yeah, you forget trying to save yourself or save the lives of your men. You hold on to that toothbrush. That's the important thing.
Wow. Okay, I guess that's the inner child of Michael Bay coming out too much in that part. It's like I'm. This is funny. I'm going to just add this. Yeah.
And that's really insulting in that one because it's not a fictional bullshit like the Transformers, but a real life catastrophe.
And another moment that was featured in the Watch Mojo top 10 list was the one conversation that George Clooney's Batman and Alfred were having when Alfred seemed like he was almost about to die in Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, that is a good scene.
I guess it kind of is. Yeah, there's so much shitty crap in that movie, but yeah, that is kind of a good scene.
That credit card, never leave home without it.
A bet! Credit card! Channeling my inner nostalgia critic, yeah.
So
you guys see the trailer for the new Child's Play movie and how bad it was?
for the new
Oh
what?
yeah, Chair told me about it, but I haven't seen it yet. The Child's Play movie.
It was
like
fucking terrible.
Child's
Even
Play?
Jennifer Tilly. Yeah,
like a
Child's Play.
remake.
Oh, Chucky, the Chucky doll,
Yeah,
right?
Chucky.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to remake Child's Play. There's nothing wrong with the original.
Apparently, he's a cyborg. Well, he's like a Terminator now. Apparently,
What the
Oh
fuck?
god.
Terminator Chucky.
Chucky always was kind of a Terminator.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the concept.
Now.
The concept seems kind of badass on the surface, but then you have it just riding off the coattails of an already known franchise. I mean, it's just another bad remake on top of many other bad remakes. And you want to know why they remade it? Money. What's that one part in the cartoon that Unusual Suspect keeps on playing?
We've got to have money.
Yes.
Well, Child's Play 1 and 2 were good. 3 was, and then the rest were like, except the last two newer, Chucky movies were really good.
Yeah, the original director came back for those.
Speaking of remakes and sequels, was Alien Covenant any decent?
I thought it was.
Personally, I liked Alien Covenant.
Was it better than Prometheus?
Slightly. It had a couple decent moments, and I definitely would say it was the best movie in the Alien franchise since the 1986. So the best installment in 30 years.
Was 1986 when they directed Aliens?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, because I honestly like the sequel better than the original.
Oh, Aliens is fucking awesome.
People said that.
Yeah, I mean, there is no real grand sense of scale in any of the Alien movies, or at least I thought. Well, Prometheus, they tried to like build a grand storyline of where there were like these ancient aliens called the Engineers that are actually the people that were trying to design this super alien, that being the Xenomorphs, of course.
They made it way too complicated.
Right. I don't know. I haven't extra observed the storyline, but overall, I would still say that there wasn't much of a grand sense of scale to the Alien franchise as compared to Terminator, which James Cameron also helped. Terminator is a step up from Aliens, but when I think of a grand sense of scale, I think of something like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yeah, like an epic.
Yeah, like an epic of where there's like a whole bunch of stuff happening in the movie at multiple different locations. That's what Lord of the Rings was. I mean, you had like this small band of merry friends like trying to destroy a ring, and then they got split off to have their own little adventures that just come back full circle to the same place that they started. Of course, there was like a decent sense of scale within the first, that being the Fellowship of the Ring, of course. But
yeah, that's my favorite.
I like Return of the King the best, honestly.
That one's really good too. I really like that one also. But like the simpleness and how it goes from being at the Shire, it's all happy, and then it goes completely dark. All of a sudden, the contrast is what I love about the first.
Oh yeah, Fellowship of the Ring. When it comes to which one captured the most horror type feel, I would say that Fellowship of the Ring was definitely it. Like Return of the King had the parts with Shelb's lair, but in Fellowship of the Ring you had being chased by the Nazgul and the Mines of Moria. Those are two like the most horrific parts, I would say, of the entire franchise.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
It comes closest to horror.
One thing that always bothered me, annoyed the piss out of me, even when I first saw the movie, and to this day, why the fuck does the Balrog have wings in that movie?
When it doesn't use them?
Yeah, I never noticed that.
Never described the Balrog as having wings.
Ah, okay. Well, actually,
it clearly couldn't fly. It clearly couldn't glide. What the fuck reason does the Balrog have wings?
And you know what's the funny part about the wings is that in the Lord of the Rings, the Battle for Middle Earth, that being like the RTS strategy game made in the Lord of the Rings universe, the Balrog actually does have the ability to fly when you control it as a war unit.
But that's not in the movie or in the book. The Balrog doesn't fly.
I don't know.
I guess
I guess the game developers are kind of bored and just thought, hey, let's add this cool ability to make the Balrog extra epic and tough against the good guys.
And what's really bizarre is there have been 2 adaptations of that scene in 2 different movies, and they both made that mistake. The Ralph Bakshi version from the 70s also gave the Balrog wings. Why?
The crazy Kurt Ghibli asks in the chat, best and worst remake ever. What's you guys' opinion?
The worst remake ever, probably The Day the Earth Stood Still, 2008.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That was a horrible remake of a great movie.
Yeah, I've watched the modern day version of The Day the Earth Stood Still, and it was so boring. I could not get into it.
See, best remake. Maybe the 2011 True Grit. That was one that where the remake was better than the original.
Yeah, True Grit was really good.
Oh, yeah, the Coen Brothers 2011 remake is a better movie than the original John Wayne version.
Well, I cannot make a judgment off of those, but for my own personal opinion, the best remake that I have seen thus far compared to an older movie that I have also seen, that being 2016 Jungle Book. Just me personally. What?
I mean, I guess that was good, yeah. But I kind of prefer
Mowgli.
I prefer Mowgli, and I prefer like Phil Harris's Baloo to Bill Murray's.
Actually, yeah, there is to take that into consideration, but I don't know. Could Mowgli technically be considered a remake?
No, it's a readaptation of the books, whereas the 2016 Disney one is a remake of the original animated one.
Yeah. Like
okay, so
Mowgli doesn't count as a remake.
Okay.
You want to know what remake was better than the original?
What?
Rob Zombie's. No, I'm joking. I was gonna say Rob Zombie's.
No,
I'm joking. No.
Rob Zombie's what?
It's too bad.
Rob Zombie's what?
Halloween.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
That was terrible.
It's one of the worst remakes ever.
Wait. Wasn't Rob Zombie the one that sang "More human than human"? Or wasn't he also a heavy metal artist?
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
What?
I forgot what his real name. Obviously, Zombie is not his real name.
Oh, what do you think of the Devil's Rejects?
Thought it was a piece of crap. Couldn't even finish it.
So he was a heavy metal artist and a movie director. Okay, not a very successful movie director.
He did the movie stuff like years after he became rich and famous from his music.
Yeah, I suspected.
But like I said, back in the 80s, probably like some of the best sci-fi movies were actually remakes that were probably better than the original. The Fly from 1986.
Ooh, The Thing by John Carpenter.
Yes, those are both remakes that are better than the original movies that spawned them from the 50s.
The Thing by John Carpenter is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's on my top 5 list.
Okay, one remake that I will definitely say is better than its predecessor would be the 2017 Lost in Space series compared to the 1990s movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Anything's better than that. Oh my God, Matt.
Well, the 90s movie, of course, that one was crap. Let's see.
I guess it ain't hard to be better than the 90s Lost in Space movie. But still, kudos to the Netflix series. I've finished the whole first season. It's so good so far. I think what I like best about the movie is that they took Penny, turned her from some overly emotional emo girl and turned her into kind of a spirited country girl, country tomboy sort of in the
that sounds
remake.
Good.
What?
So that sounds really good. A lot better than the 90s version.
Oh yeah, I mean, wait, you haven't watched it?
No, I haven't seen the new one yet. I've seen the 1990 '90s version, but I haven't seen the Netflix one yet.
We'll go ahead and see it. And you know what's kind of funny about the newer Lost in Space? And this ain't so much of a spoiler, but like in the first episode, they decide that Dr. Smith would be a female. But here's the kind of the twist. Originally, the real Dr. Smith was a dude, but then you have the main bad guy, which is actually a girl who goes by a different name, decided to take up the alias and identity of the original Dr. Smith. And now she's known as Dr. Smith, instead of us having like a Gary Oldman type character to be pulling the strings at everybody.
That's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice twist, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, I guess that to come to think about it, the '90s Dr. Smith that Gary Oldman did wasn't that good. Like, it was one of his weaker
No, definitely
roles.
not. That was one of
he used the same accent as he has like several times before.
Oh, one Disney movie that was definitely where a remake was better than the original, Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon.
2016 remake of Pete's Dragon is definitely a better movie than the 1977 original.
I saw some reviewers say that the newer version is worse than the original.
I didn't think so. If you watch the original movie, it is really corny. Well, the movies are so different. It barely even it barely even feels like a remake. It feels like a very different movie with the same title, but I'd still say it's a better movie.
What were you saying there, Kyle?
Oh, I said I like the original Pete's Dragon just because of nostalgia.
So by the way, how's Chairview, Kyle?
He's doing good. It's just his antibiotics that they're giving him is making him like really, how some people get sick, when they take antibiotics. Some people that don't, like, the antibiotics don't affect them at all. Like, and he just gets like he's got a fever and he's stomach's torn up and stuff, and he feels like crap all the time. So he's just trying to rest as much as possible.
I take it that's the big reason as to why he's been kind of taking an unannounced hiatus.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because I noticed that I haven't been receiving any notifications from him in a while. Which is curious.
He's gone.
Sorry. Go on, B.
I was gonna say, I don't think this was better than the original, but I still thought it was a good remake. It's the Evil Dead remake.
I don't think that is a remake, though. I believe it's a sequel that just is the same title.
No, it's a remake.
You sure?
Yeah, it's an actual remake. It's Evil Dead.
Oh, yeah. I remember the director and the writer talking about it. Yeah, it is a remake.
You know what's going to be interesting is watching the Hellboy remake.
Oh god, I'm not excited for that.
Why are they remaking Hellboy? Why not just make Hellboy 3?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, my problem with the two original Ron Perlman Hellboys is that both of them were kind of anticlimactic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why they need a third movie to finish it off.
Yeah, I guess so. Although, never mind. I don't know.
I have no idea why they're remaking. It makes no sense.
Apparently, I heard they're gonna remake The Crow. Apparently,
we've got to have money.
Yeah, well, they've been trying to remake The Crow for years, but they always fail.
They should.
The Crow is just kind of infamous due to what happened on the set of that movie.
Yeah, just leave The Crow alone. It was great, as it is.
I actually have a question. Speaking of series, like Kyle, have you ever seen Z Nation? You or Brandon, for that matter?
Yeah,
some of it.
That's Z Nation. I love it.
Yeah, I like Z Nation too. I think season 4 is my least favorite season yet.
It's kind of jumping the shark and getting really silly.
Well, no, Z Nation was always a silly series. My biggest problem with the season 4 is the way that they drop so many concepts and characters in that season. I mean,
I haven't got to 4 yet.
What?
I haven't gotten to 4 yet.
Oh. Okay, well, I won't spoil it, but have you at least finished season 3? Got all the way up to and finished season 3?
Yes, I have.
Okay, well, I think that season 2 is the best. Season 3 comes to a close second, and season 1 is pretty good. I've started watching season 5, and so far it's at least impressing me a whole lot more than season 4. But yeah, at least with seasons 1 through 3 of Z Nation, it felt fairly consistent, like it was just progressing off of earlier story arcs. Whilst also giving kind of a plot twist, like originally the first season was about we have to get Murphy to the CDC to develop a cure. Well, actually, that's a story arc throughout the first and second season, and then season 3, it turns out that it was all a fluke. They're not really able to get a cure like properly procured. And so Murphy decides to like change course and completely go his own direction and create this like zombie nation sort of.
Oh yeah, his own like gigantic cult / nation state.
But I don't think I'm revealing a whole lot with this. Season 4, they kind of dropped that nation. Like I'm just scratching my head thinking, whatever happened to Murphy's country?
Oh yeah, you can give me spoilers for season 4. I don't mind. I've seen a lot on YouTube and stuff about it already.
We'll get around to watching it. I would say that it's at least worth watching for the sake of knowing what leads up to season 5. Because so far I'm liking. Well, like I said, I'm liking season 5 better than season 4.
5 like back to the basics or something? What do you like about season 5 so much?
It's not so much back to the basics. I mean, they're still they haven't like gotten back to trying to find a cure so much. In fact, there are these new type of zombies. Like it seems that every season is like introducing a new 1 or 2 new types of zombies. Season 5, they introduce another new type of zombie called talkers, which are basically people, zombies that act like legitimate people, except they cannot really die by a mere bullet wound through the chest, for example.
Do they use like talking and making noises to like lure people into a false sense of security?
Oh no, they act like normal people, and if they're given like this special treat called a biscuit, which kind of tames down their zombie predatory type instincts, if they are given those biscuits, they can like live side by side with humans, which that's kind of the thing. Like Numerica is a concept that was brought up in season 4. In season 4, all the people. Okay, by the end of season 3, as to how. Never mind. I'm not going to reveal a whole lot in that, but season 4, a lot of the group like splits up from 2 of the other characters, and the bigger group like bands together with a whole bunch of other humans to like make together this new nation called Numerica, or at least try to join up with this new nation called Numerica. In season 5, it comes back up, that concept right there. Except Numerica hasn't technically been formed yet. It's just a band of different zombie-free outposts trying to like vote together to create this new country called Numerica to try and make a united front to be safe from the zombies and like I guess recreate civilization. In season 5, that's where all the talkers, the new types of zombies, and humans are living side by side with one another. I've only finished like episode 2, I think.
What? Did you notice the title of the stream, Zach?
Yeah.
You know it's a reference to, right?
I'm unwilling to work. I just want to. Is it based off of the Lazy song or something?
It's yes, but it's also based on Aria Cortez's Green New Deal that said that government should provide for anyone, even if they're unable or unwilling to work.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
that's like Obama. That's like Obama taking out the work requirement for food stamps times 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine if that were to actually be implemented? The U.S. economy would collapse in like a week. Everyone would quit their jobs.
This guy called Brandon Network in the chat. At first, I thought this was our Brandon that we have here on the stream for a second there, but I guess
No, I know that. I know this kid.
Yeah, he wants to ask our opinion on Captain Marvel.
I haven't seen the movie.
What?
The movie hasn't come out yet. I haven't seen it.
Okay, not sure what the subject
Do you
is.
want our opinion on the character, like the comic book character?
She's fine. It's a cool character, superhero one.
Asking about Captain Marvel. Well, actually, for some reason he's okay. Her name in the comics was Miss Marvel. Okay, I see. And Shazam. Oh, okay. Okay, he's calling Shazam Captain Marvel and calling the Captain Marvel of the MCU just Miss Marvel. Yeah, that's the thing.
That would be more accurate to the original comics.
That's kind of the thing that kind of threw me off about recent movie trailers that have been released, because when people say Captain Marvel, I immediately think the MCU Captain Marvel, but then in some contexts, people would be talking about actually Shazam, and I'm thinking, oh,
DC
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel. Shazam was the wizard who gave him his powers, though.
Oh,
that's a different character. That's what's frustrating.
I see, but they're calling the actual kid that got the powers Shazam.
I suppose.
So it's a bit of another screw up of the DCEU, as there always are.
As they always are, yes.
So,
but yeah, it says that it's going to make air travel obsolete, the Green New Deal, and what was the most ridiculous? Oh, that they're going to rebuild all the buildings in the country to be more environmentally friendly, which would cost like trillions of dollars.
Oh yeah, that's impossible to do, without destroying the economy totally, like you said. And that's only one thing that she wants to do. Everything she said would destroy the economy in some way.
I want to know what's really embarrassing is the original document that Cortez released was taken off her website, and there are archived versions of it, and it was replaced by one that no longer includes the unwilling to work one after widespread ridicule. And get that, and they're trying to pretend like that was never there in the first place, even though it was, and there are archived versions of it all over the place. She's fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, now I do remember actually seeing that piece of text. Like somebody had taken a screen cap of it and shared it in the Aspie Asylum, I think it was. I almost want to say that it was Chris Henry that shared it. Reckless Trucker. Maybe.
Yeah, he did share it. Yeah, he shared it with me too around the same time. So it must have been him.
Yeah, it shows that's the most insane thing I've ever heard, and it feels like it was written by children, because originally it said they wanted to reduce cow farts, and then it was later edited after the fact to reduce emissions made by cow farming. All right, originally actually just said reduce cow farts. I'm not even kidding. Was this written by like a high school student?
Might as well have been.
What kind of professional adult uses language like that in her law? God damn.
Brandon Network, more specifically, was wanting to ask, as he says again, if you think that Miss Marvel, aka MCU's Captain Marvel, looks promising.
The movie might be promising, but I dislike with a passion the actress playing her, Brie Larson.
What's up with her?
She's a petty bitch. You go to her Twitter feed, you see what I mean.
Okay. Well, actually, I saw some videos by Micah Curtis. I don't know if you ever seen the guy, but Micah Curtis was having a commentary talking about the actress for Captain Marvel, saying that how she needs to lighten up if she wants to like keep unless she like contributes to the downfall of the MCU or something like that. Like if she was to like go full blown third wave feminist, for example,
She already has.
Like Anita Sarkeesian levels, then the people will start disliking the MCU, and thus will begin the downfall. Like, I mean, I hope that theory doesn't come true because otherwise, Avengers: Infinity War will be like the peak MCU,
Possibly.
which is a good movie in of itself. But
yeah, that's not really an ending to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If it were, it would be the most depressing ending ever.
Right. I mean, I'm sure that Marvel comics have ended off with more depressing.
Because obviously Endgame has to undo that depressing ending of Infinity War for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to continue.
Obviously they do. I mean, how are they going to make their money without Spider-Man?
Yeah, especially since there's a new Spider-Man movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that comes out only 3 months later.
That's kind of the thing. I mean, I kind of wish that Disney would have kept as much like top secret as they could that they weren't making a Spider-Man movie. So like, I don't know, I guess make it a little bit more mysterious and questioning to me as to whether or not Spider-Man really did die or not. I mean, because if I did not see on the Wikipedia page that that there is a Spider-Man Homecoming a sequel going to be made, then I would have thought that Spider-Man legitimately died.
I don't think any of them died. I think they went to a different universe.
Or in the Soul Stone.
Maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think any of them died, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious considering the fact looking that there is that they are planning to make a Spider-Man sequel. But again, I wish it wasn't
Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
Yeah.
It would just be
Right.
Rocket the Raccoon, yeah.
Like, this is what literally is going to happen. Like, Captain Marvel's going to show up, she's going to defeat Thanos, and then everyone's going to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, Galactus shows up.
Supposedly, the Endgame is supposedly going to be like 3 hours long. It's going to be the longest superhero movie ever.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
It's like Lawrence of Arabia long.
So
Galactus.
Galactus, would that would probably mean that they would have to like buy the rights to Fantastic Four.
They already have
Doctor Doom. What?
They bought 20th Century Fox.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say.
Okay. So before you know it, we're gonna start seeing trailers of a MCU Fantastic Four, or some movie featuring the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, within a couple of years.
Yeah.
Every Fantastic Four movie is just sucks so bad. I don't know what the hell they think they're doing with it.
Don't you mean Fant Four Stick?
Oh,
I reviewed that one a couple of years ago. Yeah, that movie was shit.
Like, I liked the
1 year later.
Like, I like the casting choice that they had for young Ben, like the little boy who played as young Ben. I thought that, hey, I can totally imagine Ben looking like that when he was that young. But then when he grows to be older, he's so freaking small and he has long curly hair. I'm thinking to myself, what? This is Ben? This is the thing.
Yeah,
really?
Within 10 years, they grow from being elementary school kids to guys in their late 20s. Fuck off.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, those kid actors were actually better actors than some of the adult actors that are well known. Which was really sad.
That movie was so fucking bad. What it did to Doctor Doom, God, was that bad?
Yes. Oh my God.
It ruined Doctor Doom.
Like neither the early 2000s or the 2016, 2015 Fant Four Stick could like nail down Doctor Doom. Like the only way as to what I know what the origins of Doctor Doom really are is through Screw Attack when they did like a death battle between Darth Vader and Doctor Doom.
Oh, speaking of Screw Attack, you know they shut down, right?
What?
Yeah, Screw Attack shut down. They're still gonna have Death Battle. Yep, the challenge is now called Death Battle. They're just gonna make Death Battle episodes, but yeah, Screw Attack is gone.
Oh, okay. I know that Screw Attack was
Yeah.
owned by Rooster Teeth. What happened to Rooster Teeth?
They're still around.
Oh man, Rooster Teeth. That I remember Red versus Blue. Like that was like where they grew from originally was Red versus Blue. Like that was like the staple of when people started making like Halo web series, you know.
Yeah.
And man, of how Red versus Blue, I don't know. I've stopped watching Red versus Blue because it did not have the original feel that it had in the first few seasons.
Oh yeah. Who does that? Rooster Teeth does that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth does Red versus Blue. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Machinima is also gone. If you knew about that,
What?
Machinima is gone.
Oh, Machinima. Okay.
Wow.
Machinima did a whole bunch of Halo shorts, didn't they?
But honestly, but back to the main subject, I gotta the last month I've kind of decided I gotta vote for Trump's reelection, and I wasn't planning to before that, just because the left have really in the past month gone fucking insane. Like their behavior has been really shocking to me.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I can't stand Trump, and I can't
stand Trump either. I think he's been a terrible president. All right, he's embarrassed this nation every day, but goddamn, the left have gone nuts. I mean, their behavior is disgusting.
I can probably only count Trump's accomplishments on one hand. That being like getting rid of the individual mandate from Obamacare, cutting energy regulations, legalizing offshore oil drilling, for example, and
I have
cutting
no problem
taxes.
with that stuff. God,
What?
but with Trump, like his trade tariffs have been a massive detriment to the growing economy.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of the things that's going to contribute to the next economic dip, economic collapse.
It will.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I love that he in that State of the Union speech, all right, had the nerve to decry socialism after bragging about his trade tariffs. What the fuck do you think those are, moron?
I mean, are there like any real policy positions that you could get behind Trump on for 2020, Loudmouth?
Not many, really.
I mean, I know there are probably none, especially for the lineup that they have so far for the Democratic nominations. Either you or I.
Yeah, I don't really have vote. Yeah, I don't really like either because neither party has anything close to a good libertarian platform.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess criminal justice reform that Trump did seems pretty good.
I have not looked so much into criminal justice reform, although I actually did read recently on Strikeforce, on my own series, Strikeforce, that he legalized hemp, which hemp is like, okay, he hasn't legalized recreational or even medicinal weed, but hemp for the sake of like using it as a material to create certain textiles and other materials. He's legalized it for that sake, which will that'll mean that there will be more supply for the production of clothes and stuff like that, which means the supply will be higher, which means that the price of those types of goods will likely be cheaper. So that's
And I love that the Democrats were complaining that that the shutdown cost $11 billion, even though Trump was only demanding $5.5 billion. So you cost the country $6 billion just because fuck Trump.
Yeah.
Rather than give him his damn wall. I don't even think it's a big deal whether there's a wall there or not. I really don't think it's worth it, but goddamn, the Democrats are such hypocrites there.
I would give credit to Trump when it comes to immigration, except he has just been really hit and miss, and probably more misses than hits.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's he's been weaker than he has been propping himself up to be when it comes to immigration. It's pathetic. I mean, it just disappoints, especially the most loyal of his fans that made immigration the top issue.
And I love how at his speech he's declaring that he wants to end AIDS and cure childhood cancer. Bold takes, Trump. All right, those are very controversial positions that might alienate voters.
You give every billionaire in the country AIDS and
well, you know what? I'm also for,
and it will be fixed by next year.
All right, I am for cute puppies, laughing babies, and I am firmly against acne, car sickness, and biting mosquitoes.
You know what's kind of really disappointed me about Trump is how he's been kind of pretty weak on gun rights, to be quite honest. I mean, and this did not get a whole bunch of coverage, but back in the wake of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting, he apparently he considered possibly doing a compromise to allow the Dianne Feinstein style assault weapons ban to be put back into law.
Right.
Or a similar deal right
what was worse than that is he banned bump stocks via executive order. I imagine the people who were ignoring that probably would have flipped their shit if Obama had done that.
Bump stocks is not that big a thing for me.
No, it's not really that big a thing, but he had no right to do that via executive order.
Oh yeah, I mean,
bump stocks.
He also doesn't have right to like declare emergency powers or whatever the fuck it's officially called.
Yeah, he wants to build the wall by declaring an emergency. That is a dangerous precedent to send, dumbass. Imagine if the next Democrat president decides to pass socialized medicine via executive order by declaring healthcare a national emergency.
Right.
It's a disastrous precedent to set.
Yeah, it opens Pandora's box to all kinds of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's really been Trump's problem from the beginning. He's always said or done whatever he thinks will play best in the moment, and he can't think ahead. I don't think he has the capacity or ability to.
He is a royal dumbass.
He comes across as a complete dumbass at times. And it's scary that he's president. Like, he'll say smocking gun on Twitter and just be universally laughed at. You're president of the United States, dumbass. Why wouldn't you do a goddamn spell check?
What else was I gonna miss? Now I don't know what I was wanting to say. With the run that Howard Schultz is going to be making for the 2020 bid, I think that might give more of a possibility for a plausible libertarian candidate. I mean, I hope a four-way race is a likely possibility to happen because just like in 2016, I'm not impressed enough with Trump, especially with his weak position when it comes to gun rights. That just, no. That discourages me to want to vote for him in 2020. I mean, if it's a strict binary in the race, well then maybe, just maybe, but still. Okay. Hello?
Hold on. I'm fulfilling a request for someone in the chat.
Yeah.
There you go. There you are.
Oh, Zach, you should watch my Resident Evil 2 live streams.
I'm actually trying to watch JJ's Red Dead Redemption playthroughs. I gotta say, I like the story and the gameplay of Red Dead Redemption just by watching him play it. And I'm also liking the commentary that he's giving. Yeah, but I'll definitely give a watch for your what was it? Evil Dead or
no, Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil, my bad.
The remake, yeah.
You said you're doing it. What?
They are entertaining, trust me. I do give a lot of commentary when I play games like that have a consistent story, and I'm going through
Brandon, you said you're going to do it at 9 o'clock? Or what time?
Yeah, it depends.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably do it right after the stream.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just got out the police office.
Yeah,
Police
smocking gun. I'm like, I read that. I'm like, holy shit. Like that, there's just idiocracy personified right there.
Wait, on what?
Well, that's what Trump tweeted. Smocking gun. He misspelled the word smoking.
Smock.
Or
Oh,
what was
God.
another? When he pandered to the anti-vaccine movement, said vaccines cause autism. Ooh, that pissed me off.
Yeah, because that's dangerous.
Despite all of
he doesn't
all
know
of
how
that,
much power his words have.
right? Despite all of that, though, he's not behaving like these complete and utter psychopaths on the left. All right. He's not proposing we ban air travel, give money to people unwilling to work. He's not threatening kids because he doesn't like their hat. Ugh.
He's not calling for the deaths of white people on Twitter. Like, I like how that's allowed, but telling people to learn the program. Oh, you get fucking banned.
Yeah, exactly. Jack Dorsey is a much more dangerous man than Donald Trump. Jack Dorsey might be the most dangerous man on earth. I mean, the guy bans people for ridiculous reasons and allows absolute filth on his site, criminal stuff on his site.
Did you see Joe Rogan's interview with Jack Dorsey?
No, I didn't. How'd it go?
Everyone sent Joe Rogan tons of hate because Joe Rogan took it very easy on him, didn't ask him very hard questions, and Joe Rogan really felt bad afterwards, and he's like, well, Jack Dorsey said he'd come back anytime, so Joe Rogan said that he's going to schedule him to come back, and Jack Dorsey said he's going to bring someone, since he's the CEO, he doesn't know all these details about people being banned and stuff, unless they're huge or something. He said, I'm going to bring someone that's lower down in the company that knows everything about who's banned and why and all this stuff, and he's going to bring someone with him next time to answer all these minute, detailed questions.
Yeah, what is that?
Be harder on him.
Louis Farrakhan calls Jews termites on Twitter, doesn't get banned.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, God.
Yet, Yes Margaret, all right, gets banned for tweeting "learn to code." That pissed me off so much.
And I get timed out because I call Rin a retard.
Aye.
Yeah, I used the word retard once and got timed out.
Yeah, I avoid using that word just because I know it's one of those naughty words that gets you timed out.
I got
It's
banned
ridiculous.
And it's so stupid. Why is it okay to call somebody a moron, but not okay to call someone a retard?
Yeah, moronic is the same
it means
concept.
The same fucking thing.
And retarded is a medical term, saying someone, brain or liver is retarded. I mean, there's a mechanical device called a retarder that's used in baking. So if you said, "Oh, I'm going to use the retarder," does that mean that they're going to think you said retard or something and they'll ban you?
I mean, it might.
Probably.
That's what Twitter is. Meanwhile, Twitter didn't ban Luke O'Brien for doxing on their site. Kirk Eisenwald didn't get banned because he's got that blue check mark, and he actually posted someone's social security number on Twitter.
That's insane.
Yeah, Medicare did a whole video series on Kirk Eisenwald. He's genuinely fucking insane. You want to know how stupid that son of a bitch is? He once posted a screen share for tens of thousands of people on Twitter, all right, that had tabs still open that led to Japanese hentai porn.
Oh, God.
What was his excuse? He said, I was trying to prove to my kids and I were trying to prove to my wife that tentacle porn was real.
Oh, yeah. I saw Miniker's video on him.
Oh, God. He's insane. He really... Yeah, and he supposedly posted someone's social security number on Twitter, didn't get banned.
That's like one of the worst things you can do. If you have someone's social security number, you can steal their identity. Easy.
You know
The
what
worst
kind?
thing you give out.
You know what kind of has me on edge about Mr. Medicare?
For
Is
what?
the fact that he's seems to be buds with Ethan Ralph.
I'm not saying Medicare is a great guy or anything. I'm just saying that video
No,
had very good information.
I did not say that you said that he was a great guy, but still, I mean, I don't have any real reason to hate the guy, but still. And you know what the whole thing about Jack Dorsey and Joe Rogan kind of reminds me of?
Oh, what?
Bearing an AIU.
Yeah, I
Not
see what
really.
you mean by that. Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
okay,
Jack
yeah,
Dorsey.
yeah.
It's got to like the smell of it.
I will
Is Jack Dorsey really like AIU though? I don't know.
I mean, what did you say Jack Dorsey was? A murderer or something like that?
No,
Oh, my bad.
I
My
said
bad.
he was dangerous because of the system of unfair censorship and double standard that he has imposed. I said that he's dangerous because
Okay.
of
I'm
because of
sorry.
that. God damn it! I didn't say he was a murderer.
I'm sorry. I will completely retract my statement there. I was
Jesus Christ, man!
jackass moment from the Dark Conservatarian, everyone.
Great, you're gonna
My
get banned now from Twitter.
My
Thanks,
apologies.
God.
Gonna kick me out of the live stream.
I just might, man. That was fucked up, dude.
He gets in the code.
Sorry.
No, God. I don't see it at all like the situation with bearing an AIU. There's no, it's totally different. That's a different matter altogether. But whatever.
Asperger's is unstoppable.
I'm not interested in talking about that, asshole. Though I do think I will say it is extremely funny that he apparently tweeted he would delete his channel if Tonka lost the fight with Andy Worski.
And then Tonka completely chickens out.
I
Where's
know.
the deletion?
Yeah, Tonka is like the epitome and the definition of an internet tough guy. That, you know, if you start proving him wrong and you actually make good points and make him look like an idiot online, then he goes into a civil debate with you to be like, you little fag, I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna kick your ass. He goes straight
I
from,
never liked
argument
that
to
guy. At
betting
no
people.
point did I ever like that guy. I always thought he was just an asshole. But seeing him just utterly humiliate himself over the last month or so has just been something else.
Tonka saw?
Yeah, he didn't show up. He challenged Andy Worski to a fight, and then he backed out at the last minute.
I saw a detailed video. I cannot remember who it was by, but pretty much the guy was like pretty much the guy is like a habitual liar.
Yes, he is absolutely a habitual pathological liar.
Yeah,
and he clearly has an inferiority complex.
The application for the fight and everything, he put someone else's name, which is crazy. Why would you do that?
No, he posted his internet screen name on a legal document. You can't do that.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You've got to post your real name.
He knows he couldn't do that. He did that just to derail the fight because he was terrified he would get his ass kicked.
Well, honestly, if he had shown up there and gotten his ass kicked, I would have 100 times more respect for him than
Everyone
the bullshit he pulled.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, I could respect that. You know, you tried. But this shit, this is just pathetic.
But he was afraid, I think, that it would ruin his tough guy reputation if he got his ass kicked. So he was like, oh, no, I can't show up to this fight.
I'd say he ruined it a lot more by what he did.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Who would win in a fight?
Well, yeah.
Who would win in a fight, Jim or Andy?
I don't know.
Jim who? Jim Henson?
Okay, who would win in a fight, Loudmouth Reviews or Andy Worski?
Oh,
I don't know, but I'm not challenging anyone to a fight on the internet.
I don't know what Jim looks like.
Andy's been training stuff, so, you know, Andy trained and everything, so I don't know. Andy probably would win.
I can bench about 280 pounds.
Yeah, but if you have enough, do you have enough stamina to keep up with someone that's been training for like a few months?
Maybe not. I got a bit of a gut, so I got muscle, but I also don't really train. I just spend a few hours at the gym every day.
You would have to really look for your opening. You know, like save your energy, look for your opening to use your massive power and weight to give one.
Right, which I have never done. I've never like done any fight training. I just lift weights to look a little better for the chicks.
Oh yeah.
No. Crap.
I still think TF2 is a better game.
And chicks definitely like it if you have a really well-toned chest. I know they dig that.
Oh, yeah,
I don't have a
really
very well-toned chest, but I at least have a better chest than Owen Cunt Donald.
Don't compare yourself with him, dude. But as I've said, I told you what you need to do, dude. You got to lift weights and drink a lot of protein shakes.
Yeah.
And like eat a lot of things like eggs and steaks and other high protein products to really to bulk yourself up. That's what you got to do.
Mm.
Whereas with me, I just need to lose weight and spend more time on the treadmill. But it's kind of hard to do in my current profession.
Oh yeah.
It's
all about finding time.
I have trouble finding the time, yeah. And a lot of the time my sleep schedule's kind of messed up, which makes dieting difficult. The less sleep you get, the hungrier you are.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Your body's trying to compensate for that loss of energy any way it can. It's like, oh, food energy will, compensate for me not getting enough sleep and rebuilding my energy.
Yeah, that's one of the good reasons why getting proper sleep is very necessary for losing weight. Because if you sleep properly, it's much easier to avoid overeating.
Hey guys, I think I'm going to leave out of here. I'm going to get myself something to eat before I join my 2 cents Today with 2 Cents stream. Like he's going to host in about an hour.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay,
cool.
But hey, it was nice joining along. And again, sorry for the jackass move about Jack Dorsey.
Okay, it's fine. We all fuck up sometimes.
I'll just have to open up my ears a lot better.
Yeah, well, everyone fucks up sometimes,
All right, good night, everybody.
All right, bye. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I fucked up sometimes, so I'm forgiving. I'm a forgiving fella.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. He didn't say that you said that. He said he thought you said that, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
No, it's not that big of a deal, but it was a fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ain't that right, Corbin? Ain't that right?
I bet she's pretty big by now.
Huh? Oh, sorry. Hold on. Return. Here you go. There she is.
Oh yeah, she's grown up a lot. Damn.
Yeah, the pups grow,
Yeah, especially half lab, half shepherd. They grow really quick.
Yeah, but she's not going to be that big. Like, she's only like 50 pounds now. She'll get a little bigger, but she's not going to be like a big dog.
Oh yeah, she's not going to be as big as a pure blood Labrador. Like she's got a lot of the shepherd in her. You can tell, the sleekness of a shepherd.
Well, yeah, but some shepherd dogs can get real big. My cousins have a German shepherd that's over 150 pounds.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like a shepherd dog, like a almost like a sheep dog.
Yeah, he's a king shepherd, but he's
shepherd,
just yeah, he's real big. I tried introducing him to Cora. It didn't really go well.
Oh, really? What happened?
He tried to mount her.
Oh no.
And he's well over 3 times their size, so it wasn't a good situation. But
yeah,
he chased.
This is how you fucking handshake, you fucking sick bastard.
Oh yeah, he chased her. He pushed her down, and he just got up on top of her, and I just had to. I jumped on, and pulled him off, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
It's always awkward when dogs do that. It's like, hey, you're doing that. Why don't you go to a hotel or something? And oh wait, yeah, you're dogs. You can't go behind closed doors. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. All Jack's not a bad dog. I mean, he's just he's too damn big for his own good. He's caused damage for them just due to his size. Like if he were an average sized dog, he wouldn't have caused it that kind of damage.
Did you say he was a German Shepherd?
He's a King Shepherd. He's like I said, he's over 150 pounds. Fucking huge.
Yeah, I've never heard of a King Shepherd. What do they look like? That's more common.
Like German Shepherd, just really big.
Oh, it's like a monster truck.
Like whereas a German Shepherd would be around 100 pounds, this dog's over 150.
Damn.
Pretty much a German Shepherd, just a big one.
Yeah.
Right. They come dogs that come in such a stunning variety of sizes just for one species, don't they?
Oh yeah. Whether they're naturally that way or bred that way, they do have a lot of variety.
Well, they obviously were bred that way. The ancestral group of dogs, they were all mostly very similar looking. They looked like wolves. And then humans bred them in all these different shapes and sizes.
What's your favorite type of dog?
I've always loved retrievers. That's why I jumped when I heard they had a litter of Labrador Shepherd mixed puppies that needed homes that were for adopting.
Yeah, Labradors and Retrievers they're really great with kids and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a puppy as young as she was though is just a ton of work because a 6-week-old puppy just needs to be watched all the time.
Oh yeah, they can get into trouble quick.
Yeah, it's like having a human kid. You know, a human 2-year-old or something needs to be watched all the time, or they can get themselves into serious trouble. A puppy that young is very similar. She's a lot more independent now, but like when I first got her, pretty much watching her was a full-time job.
She's a lot more independent now. She has her own apartment. She's got her boyfriend. She's got her Mercedes that I bought her. The bitch wanted a Mercedes. I wanted to get her an Audi, but she needed a Mercedes.
Well, apparently, this one dog wanted her bitch ass. Yeah, that was bad.
Got it in Myra.
That dog, I swear. He would do that to a puppy that's less than a third his size.
When she's of age or whatever that means, would you ever consider breeding her with a dog like that or anything like that? Oh, she is?
She is neutered. So is my cousin's dog. They're both neutered. So the chance that they would result zero chance they would result in puppies.
Because every time I've owned like hundreds of dogs since I was a kid. Since they don't live very long, maybe 15 years. We live next to an interstate and railroad track. So you can imagine what happens when they run off and then all of a sudden you find them on the railroad tracks dead or something.
Right.
It's, heartbreaking. But yeah, it's really rare. Like it's surprising, like a dog that's, neutered and then spayed to see them, try to mount each other and stuff. I guess they're doing it out of like habit or instinct or something. But usually they smell like,
You do know, neutered dogs can still have sex. They just have less sexual hormones, and they can't result in pups. But
it's just from my experience, the desire to
they have less desire. Like for example, like a human male who loses both their testicles to testicular cancer, they can still have sex after that. They just can't have children, and they usually take hormone patches and injections to keep their sexual appetite normal. Otherwise, their hormones get out of whack.
Exactly.
So that's the case with humans who are neutered essentially. So and dogs usually they're a lot less aggressive after they've been neutered. It's why I've really strongly advocate any pit bull owners neuter their pit bulls because there's a huge overpopulation problem in my city of pit bulls. 90% of the dogs in the shelters are pit bulls. And and they're dramatically safer as well after they've been neutered. You know, the
People
chance of
breed those
them,
dogs like crazy.
huh?
People breed pit bulls like crazy. That's why there's so many of them everywhere. Just these really bad
It
owners.
needs to stop. They need like have mandatory laws preventing that from happening. Really should be illegal to breed those kind of dogs.
Or at least
'Cause-
have like a mandatory minimum of like, you can only breed a dog, like they're all tagged or something with electronic tag, and it's like, oh, this
I think a
dog's
lot of cities do actually have mandatory neutering laws specifically for pit bulls.
Well, then you would get a lot of pit bull owners going, it's not the pit bull that's bad, it's the owner that's bad.
Well, yeah, you are being a bad owner by not neutering your damn dog.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Neuter your dog. All right, you have a breed that both kills more people than all other breeds of dogs combined and are severely overpopulated. You could solve both those problems by neutering your dog.
Yeah, and if you never intend to breed your dog with any other dog, why not neuter them anyway?
What it is a lot of these dumbasses, they think their dog that they use as a guard dog will be more intimidating if you can see its balls.
Oh yeah, and they are more
really
aggressive when they have their balls still, though.
It's so fucking stupid. And it's caused a lot of problems in my city. Like there was an incident a couple of years ago, real horrible one, where this guy had 4 of them. He just had all these pits in his yard, and he was just breeding them. All right, they got loose all at once.
Oh,
all right, they killed this child. Her mom, this kid's mom, was walking her kid to the bus stop, and 4 pit bulls just descended on them and ripped the kid to pieces right in front of the kid's mom.
Jesus Christ! I think I heard about this in the news.
Yeah, it was only a few miles from where I live. They found all the dogs and put them down, and the owner was criminally charged. But I'm saying that shit can happen when you're completely irresponsible when you got big dogs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, clearly, you look at the facilities those dogs were kept in. He wasn't training these dogs at all. He was basically just treating them like livestock.
Was he using them to fight them, like dog fights, or was he using them to like try to sell them?
He might have been. That's a recipe for disaster.
Oh yeah.
Particularly a dog that was trained in that kind of environment. My God, one of those dogs is a ticking time bomb. Like you showed, I shared this clip in like the Poor Bastards chat of this one news program where they were trying to adopt out this pit bull they admit was a stray. So they admit they don't know the dog's history. It could have come from a dog fighting ring, but they're talking about how sweet this dog is. The tagline says, "I want to be loved." Okay. So, all right, and the news reporter pets him on the head, and the dog snaps and bites her hand. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, would you like to adopt this dog? I'm like, no, no. You'd have to be insane after that to adopt that dog.
Oh,
I'm
so
not
you
if you're
told me your
racist towards
favorite
pit bulls.
breed.
I'm not racist.
What's your favorite breed, Brandon?
What?
I was joking.
What's your favorite breed of dog, Brandon?
To be honest, I don't really have one.
Oh, you don't have a favorite animal or pet?
Well, no, I have a favorite. No, I have favorite animals, but dog breeds, eh.
I've only advocated a responsible pit bull ownership. I'm not for like banning pit bulls or like killing them all. Some people have advocated. I just think a lot of owners of those dogs are very irresponsible, and it causes huge problems.
Yeah, I
Like the dog
reptiles.
we have is half pit bull and half Labrador, and having the dog half Labrador like mellows the damn thing out so much. It doesn't even seem like a pit bull. That it's so mellow and so chill.
Yeah, I have a friend who has a pit bull Labrador mix. Her and Cora were playing. The dogs seem nice.
Yeah, they're like the Labrador really like evens out the pit bull brain.
Probably, and even if it's a pure pit bull, if you really take the time to train it right and get it neutered at a young age, it can be a pretty controllable dog.
Oh yeah, you make sure you discipline it when it does something it shouldn't. Like
right,
something
but I'm saying, but it requires more work than most dogs would. it's nonsense that every dog is equally dangerous. No, they're not. Okay, some are more dangerous than others.
Oh yeah, you have to be dedicated with a
You have to be dedicated. You have to be a dedicated owner and well experienced to do it right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you got to be real responsible. Like Akora was playing with a pit earlier today at the dog park. The dog was cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, if you get them from like if you rescue them, or if you get them from the pound or something, and they're like, older dogs, like a year, 2 or 3 or 4 years old.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of them you don't know the dog's history.
Yeah, it's like rolling the dice.
It is. Particularly if you have kids, it is not worth the risk. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it is
definitely. I agree.
Because if the dog has a bad history or something, it can kill your children. You never know what it went through.
Oh yeah, it's like one day your kids are in the living room playing and screaming and being loud, and it stresses the dog out. The dog thinks something horrible is happening, and it freaks out and starts ripping into little toddler throats or something.
Well, yeah, I heard of this one guy. There was this case where this guy was having a couples fight with his wife, and the pit bull attacked his wife. And I'm wondering, probably in the dog's mind, it thought it was defending its master.
Yeah.
Like it thought when she was yelling at him and giving him shit, it probably thought that it was that she was like attacking his master or something, and it needed to interfere. And obviously, just made the situation worse. But
we know that it probably seemed like he was being attacked.
Right. It's a dumb animal. It doesn't know the subtleties of human relationships.
Yeah, it's like that creature with the long shiny hair and weird face paint on is trying to attack my nice owner.
Yeah. Obviously, the dog ended up turning what was probably just a routine couples argument into a life-threatening situation. So, by being crazy,
it makes things more interesting.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. But like the real thing is what a lot of people don't understand is the real problems with those dogs is a human-made problem. All right, because that breed only exists because humans bred them for dog fighting, and if you were to like eliminate every pit bull in the world, they just find a different breed, probably Rottweilers or something, and then they would train them to do the same shit, and the whole situation would just start all over again.
Yeah, and the only dog I've been attacked by was a Rottweiler, and my dad got him from a friend at work, and his name, this is hilarious. The dog's name was Cujo.
Cujo. The dog attacked you? What did it do?
Well, we had it for like 2 years, and the guy my dad got it from said he had to get rid of it, and my dad said he would take it, and he got rid of it because him and his wife had just had a baby, and they put Cujo in the garage. And he was the big, imagine the biggest, strongest, fattest, like most powerful looking Rottweiler you can.
Oh, Rottweilers can get real big, so yeah.
And he was in the garage, and he heard the baby crying, and it drove him crazy and so angry that he used his head and his body and his teeth, and he busted through the wall, and he busted through the back door to get into the house.
Holy shit.
Yes, like superhuman like strength, kind of thing.
Yeah, if the dog behaves like that and you have a kid in the house, sorry, you got to get rid of the dog because you can't have a dog in your house if it's a threat to your kids. Sorry.
Yeah, it was coming after that baby. Like it was wanting to get at that baby.
Your kids come first, If the dog can't behave itself, it has to go.
So we had the dog, and what happened with me was, my mom, without me knowing it, gave Cujo a pork chop bone. And he had in between his legs where I couldn't see it. So it just looked like he was laying there with his legs in front of him, just like a normal dog just sitting there. So I went up and I was about to pet him. And the second I put my hand down to pet him, he lunged up, grabbed me on my right arm. He clamped down.
Oh.
And he hit as hard as he could. And then he let go when I screamed, and my mom came out of the kitchen and started screaming. And I was probably like 12, 12, 13.
Oh shit, dude, that's really scary.
It was the most terrifying.
I've been bit by dogs, but they were all little ones. I've never had like a Rottweiler like bite my arm like that.
But luckily, he bit, and he did not shake me or anything. He just bit as hard as he could, and then he let go when we started screaming.
Uh-huh.
And
Still
I ran to the kitchen,
unacceptable for a dog to do.
Yeah, it was terrible. We kept him after that, though.
What?
Yeah, we kept him after that and everything, and he never did anything like that again. But he did bite one of my younger brother's friends, Justin. He
I
bit Justin, like
if Cora were to seriously like injure somebody, then I don't know if I could keep her after that.
Oh yeah, like if you live in a town or a city or something or anywhere, we live out in the Tri-County area that's literally like we live on like a family compound thing that's like literally isolated, and we have to go like 5-10 minutes to even get to the nearest house or town.
Yeah, because I'd be scared, if I had a dog that could seriously hurt you,
But it was great though. If we went on vacation, we kept him in the yard, and we put one of those electronic like water and food dispensers out in the yard for him. And we had a neighbor that Cujo liked. There was people that Cujo hated and people that he liked. And it seemed like everyone that Cujo hated were like really shady people that were really like untrustworthy bad people.
I had a childhood friend who I remember had a pet Rottweiler. I always thought that dog was nice. He was a big fella.
Oh yeah. Like, some of them are really nice. Like I don't know what this guy that my dad got the dog from did to the poor thing, but this dog was like trained as an attack dog or something, because he was just always like on alert and aggressive, all the time.
Yeah, and Rottweilers, they're like the second most dangerous dog breed. They have a pretty high body count by comparison. One reason that they're just real big dogs.
Yeah.
And any dog that size can do damage. Did you see this thing on on YouTube where they had these Rottweiler mixed with a little Scottish Terrier, and what was really cool is the Scottish Terrier was the father, and it somehow managed to impregnate a bitch that was 5 times his size.
Oh, the little thing had a stepladder in its pocket.
I'm like, how did that little dog do that?
That's adorable. I could imagine a little cartoon. It's like the little terrier is like, oh, I want to fuck her. She's pretty and tall. And he grabs a little stepladder out of his pocket. He steps up on it like he's going after like soup cans at the top shelf in the kitchen. And he bangs her.
Probably the Rottweiler, when it got in heat, probably like lied on the ground for him. I'm guessing that's how it happened.
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah, that sounds like that's probably what happened.
Yeah, the owner apparently was shocked, but I mean, you had 2 dogs of different sexes, and you didn't have them neutered. Of course, that's going to happen. That's what dogs do. That's what all animals do.
That's crazy though. Like some of these really tiny dogs, being bred with these huge dogs. You never know if you're going to get like something that's a great in between dog, or something that looks like, something from the movie The Thing, that's like mutated and fucked up that you need to shoot in the head with a shotgun because it's in so much pain.
It was like the pups looked cute, but they weren't even full. They were only like half grown. They were already bigger than their father.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was a cute situation. But
like dad can't discipline the kids at all.
Oh, that's all up to mom. And I posted, this gives hope to short dudes everywhere. Yeah. But I thought that was odd. But back to my original point, it probably would be Rottweilers or something else. These kind of like scum who like breed dogs for fighting like that. They probably just find a different breed to like exploit. So ultimately, the real problem is a human problem. Yeah.
And if you want like a real good guard dog that's going to not hurt anybody, you need like a professional to train them. These dogs will not attack unless you give them an order to attack. Like
right.
I'm
hoping Cora will be. I guess she's not quite big enough to be a good guard dog, but I'm hoping she kind of guards my place while I'm gone.
Oh yeah, she'll at least be intimidating enough. She'll be big enough to be intimidating to anyone that's trying to break in.
Yeah, yeah. Like I see her, she barks out the window a lot. Like when the snowplow trucks were plowing the driveway, Cora would just stick her head out the window and just bark at them.
Oh, that's good. At least you know she's gonna bark at anybody like getting close to the front door of the house.
Right. Anyone who's in the house, she's very friendly with, but when she's like outside in the backyard, anyone who's outside the fence, she'll just bark at.
Oh, she's like, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?"
If they're in the fence, they're a friend, but if they're outside the fence, they're an enemy.
Oh yeah, that's how our dogs are too. Like, we have one of those tiny teacup poodles, and we've had her for like, God, for years. Like, I think she's like 90 years old in
I think
dog
those
years.
little ones are in general more aggressive. I remember one time I was like canvassing out going door to door, and there was this little chow dog that was sitting on the porch. Didn't look too threatening. And I walked up and dropped off my literature, and then I tried to pet it. And I'm like, "Hey, little chow," and it's like, it tries to bite in my hand.
And just like you're saying, the most aggressive dog I've ever seen in my life are Chihuahuas.
I think Chihuahuas and Dachshunds are the most aggressive dogs.
Yes,
it's just
now
that,
that you say that,
they can't really do much damage.
You know, like a Dachshund, otherwise known as a wiener dog. Like, we had one, and his name was Bobo, and he was so hilarious. We had him when me and my younger brother were like, when I was 7, 8, or 9. And anytime me and my brother would like fake fight or fake wrestle in front of him, he would get so angry and so protective of both of us that he would jump in between us and like threat, like growl at us and like nip at us, to get us to stop. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like little dogs, though. If they may be more aggressive, but they don't cause any damage, because they're so small. You can just pick one up and just move it away.
Oh yeah, those poor little things. They would have to bite you like 10,000 times before they would even do any serious damage.
Right. That's kind of why when I wanted a dog, I didn't want something that was too big, but I wanted something sizable. So I think Cora's the size I was looking for.
Oh yeah, you wanted a Goldilocks dog, not too hot, not too cold, but just right.
Right, not a giant dog, but not a teeny dog either. Plus, you have to go down these steps, and some of those dogs are so little they can't even move down steps.
Oh yeah, the steps to those little dogs seem like the pyramid at Giza, and how you have to go up those huge steps. How the facade is at the pyramids.
Right. Like Cora couldn't even go down the stairs until she was like 5 months old.
Oh, that's adorable. Some dogs are terrified of steps and stuff.
But yeah, before that, she would just she was scared of the steps. She would hang out at the top and just start barking, wanting me to carry her down.
Like, come get me. Where's my elevator man?
Now she goes up and down the stairs with ease.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because when she was that tiny, it was probably it probably could go up there when she was big enough to do it, but that's for something that small, if it's stairs going up to a second story, that's a lot of work.
Well, she could go up the stairs at a pretty young age. She couldn't go down them. Like when she was 2 months old, she could already move up the stairs, but she couldn't go down them for another 3 months.
I thought she would tumble down or something.
Yeah, she was scared. She was just scared to do so.
Yeah, that's understandable. I would be scared if that was that size to go down also. Because when you go up a hill or you climb a tree, when you're down on the ground and you look up, you're like, oh, that's not too high. When you climb the tree and you look down, it looks a lot fucking further down to the ground than it does up to the branch you're going to go up to.
Right. My last dog, I remember when we first got him, it was the same way. We got him when he was about 3 months old, and he could go up the stairs pretty early on. He'd go up, and then he'd start barking at the top, wanting to come down.
I love that. It's hilarious about how a lot of dogs and a lot of different breeds have a lot of the same phobias and fears and stuff. It's really interesting.
Right.
Hey,
yeah.
I was gonna ask if anyone's Joining the Lonely Bastard stream on Valentine's Day.
What stream?
The Lonely Bastard stream.
When's that?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, I don't know. Valentine's Day is depressing for me. It always has been.
Yeah,
yeah.
this year is going to be depressing. This is the first year that I'm single in 8 years.
Well,
I thought
I'm
you
pretty
left.
much. I'm single most of the time. I've never had a long-term relationship before. I've got just a few flings and sex every now and then, but nothing that's ever lasted.
Yeah. Same here.
I don't think I ever will either. I'm an autist, you know.
Well, you don't seem as bad as or that severe an autist as other people that we know.
Maybe not, but I'm still on the spectrum.
Yeah, you seem pretty mild on the spectrum.
Eh. I don't know. Plus I have anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety can be a killer.
Do you know who Howard Hughes is?
Yes, I knew who Howard Hughes is.
Oh my God, you're the first person I've asked that actually knows who he is. Okay, you know what agoraphobia is?
Yeah, it's a crippling mental condition where you're afraid of everything.
I'm not afraid of everything. Afraid of leaving your home or afraid of going in public.
Yeah, like afraid of the outside world.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, literally, I have not I can go on my property and stuff, but I have not gotten in the car and gone to into town or or anything like that, and probably
Derek Savage is challenging people to fights on Twitter.
And when
Wait,
I do,
are you serious?
I am serious.
Oh my God!
What?
Yes,
Cool
he's
Cat
challenging
gonna be
someone to a duel, and he's like, and Derek Savage says, anytime, any place, come to Vegas where a cat can stand his ground. We already know you're chicken.
Hey, is Cool Cat gonna be the referee?
Oh yeah, Cool Cat will always be there.
Is it gonna be a normal boxing fight, or is it like an actual?
What is wrong with Derek Savage? Like, what explains his fucking behavior?
Oh, he's a secret furry.
Maybe a secret furry, but goddamn, like some of the shit he's done, I'm actually amazed he's not arrested. Like trying to impersonate a law firm to intimidate a YouTuber from reviewing your movie. That's gotta be
your
fine.
movie sucks. Yeah.
No, he did that to I Hate Everything.
Oh yeah, I meant that's what I meant to say. Yeah, and then YMS called out that saying he's bullshitting.
Yeah, they sent them this fake legal notice saying that we'll sue you, pretending to be somebody he isn't, pretending he was representing filmmakers that supposedly later said they never heard of Derek Savage.
Isn't that a federal crime?
That is a federal crime. That is criminal fraud. All right.
Yeah.
He should be. I am amazed that I Hate Everything didn't prosecute him.
Yeah, he could have.
Yeah, you could have pressed charges against the guy for that. That is a serious crime, actually.
Wait, what did he do?
Just because I Hate Everything made a movie review that he didn't like, he sent him a legal notice. First, he gave him some false strikes on his channel. All right.
He left.
Fuck.
Hold up, I think he'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, why'd he ask a question and leave before I can answer it? But you know the story, right?
Yeah, I already know about the whole thing.
Yeah, I did a video on false copyright claims where I go into a little detail on the story.
Oh yeah, he was gonna do that one thing. Cool Cat stops the school shooting, and then instead, everyone who donated, he was putting that into something else, which he wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, that's also a crime. Why is he not in jail?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's raising money under false circumstances, which is also criminal fraud.
Yeah, because he's Derek Savage.
Yeah, Cool Cat loves you. And he made a really terrible children's movie because a lot of its messages are exactly wrong. like when he says to the bully kid, you're a bully because you don't have friends. No, very so often bullies do have friends and their victims don't. So ironically, this anti-bullying movie is pro-bullying.
Fuck, what else? I know there was some other stuff in there that didn't make any sense. I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm probably ending the stream for a minute, but this is a good chat.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining me, everyone.